Okay, next up on the list, we have Ravens at Bengals. Line in the sky is Ravens minus 2.5. Over under is at 50, and it's a 50 and a half. It's a very ambitious 50, my friend. Uh, Early betting splits here. 67% of the bets in the spread coming in the Ravens, 72% of the bets coming to the over. I guess that's why they pumped up the over. Oh, and also both of these teams have played to the over. Both teams 3-1 to the over this year, and 85% of money line bets coming in the Ravens. Okay, we get the 2-2 Ravens versus the 1-3 Bengals. Bengals finally get their win against the Panthers. I feel like that was a kitchen sink game, and if you have to have a kitchen sink game against the Panthers, I hate to say it, I think that means your team is probably not very good. On the other hand, we've kind of seen the Ravens play their way into shape. They came out a bit flat against the Chiefs. They followed they followed that up with a really rough effort against the Raiders, and now they just they beat they beat the Cowboys on the road, and then they got their home win against the Bills in dramatic fashion. Team win, total victory, never in doubt. From the first play to the end, never in doubt. I mean, I feel like the only reason this line is as short as it is. First off, the Bengals actually opened as a favor when they set these lines like back in June or whatever, and it is Ravens on the road. That doesn't scare me. I'm taking the Ravens minus the 2.5. Again, this is a stinky line. I don't love it. I feel like everybody's going to be on the Ravens, especially against this Bengals team, even at home, and that sounds a bit dangerous to me. But again, I've seen this Bengals team just be so mediocre. They lost to a Commanders team that we don't know if they're really that good, and they just had to have a kitchen sink game against the Panthers, and now they're gonna play a 1-score game against the Ravens. Even at home, I don't like that for them. I'll lay the 2.5. Give me the Ravens. I'm concerned I may regret this one, but we'll see what happens. What say you?
Well, we're split on this one. I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay,
And
what's the case? What's the case for the Bengals here?
Bengals at home plus 2.5. So the Ravens have been I mean, both teams have been up and down so far this season. I kind of feel like they caught the Bills sleeping last week. The Bengals, they've been underperforming, up until this point. Historically, they're slow starters, and I've kind of been. I said earlier in the year that I've been fading the Ravens, um, but I like the Bengals to play a close game here. I don't think it's going to be like it was last week with the Bills. And you also have to remember that the Ravens did lose um, to the Raiders as well, so they're not. I mean, they're still a 2-2 team. They're not. I don't think they're quite the offensive juggernaut they were last week. Um,
Okay,
so I like the Bengals to hang with the Ravens as a home dog.
okay. First off, now that you've taken the Bengals, I feel much better about my Ravens pick. Also, this Bengals defense might be really bad.
Yeah, um, yeah,
Like I don't, they I hate to say it, but the Panthers, if they weren't the Panthers, if they were like an like an average NFL team, they probably would have beat them last week. But it's just because the Panthers are going to Panthers a little bit that
yeah,
they kind of gave that game away. Um, I don't. I see where you're coming from with the contrarian. I don't like it. I'm going to go with again. We just saw the Ravens get right against get right in a big spot. I don't think this is a letdown game for them. I do think they stay up for this because they don't. I don't think they want to pick up their third loss just yet. I mean, a 2-3 Ravens team. I mean, I don't. No, I think they're kind of determined not to take any more L's until they have to. So
yeah, yeah. I think it's well for me. I think it's one of the harder games to pick this week. But
I disagree completely.
I'm sticking with the Bengals.
I think that the Commanders game is much harder to cap.
I disagree with that completely.
No. How many wins did you have last week?
Look, last week was last week. This week is this week.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right.